Alright, what is happening, music makers and enthusiasts? Today I got kind of a demonstration / tutorial. It's on this fun little template that I designed with some friends. It's for a fundraiser that we're going to be doing at this year's SCP Backpack Music Festival. It's a fundraiser that will provide school supplies and backpacks for children in need in the Detroit area. So what we're going to do is build this interactive Ableton Live setup so kids can come on out and jam away on Ableton Live and have some fun with some audio and visual. So the setup involves a 3-station setup. The first station will have an MPC 40, and then on the MPC 40, kids can come up and just start jamming away on the pads on the MPC 40 and trigger off the multiple audio clips we have here. We have drums, percussion, bass, synths, effects, and they can just start hitting buttons away and triggering off clips. The second station will be using the new Leap Motion hand gesture controller, and it guides your hands in a 3D space. And with that controller, we have it mapped to a series of audio effects and video effects on the master channel. So kids can come up, start waving their hands and dancing around, and as a result, they'll start affecting audio effects as well as video effects at the same time. So pretty neat. And then finally, the third station will be a keyboard, and the keyboard will have a series of one-shot vocal samples and synth stabs. So let's get into this thing and check it out. Kind of show you guys where I'm at with this. Okay, so station 1 over here is going to be we're in session view in Ableton, and I have a series of audio clips set up. All these audio clips I have follow actions set up. So every 16 bars, these clips will automatically change. So if there's not anybody at the booth and nobody's triggering off clips, this will save us from going crazy hearing the same loop on and on. So it'll always change, always be interesting, and it'll always be random. So pretty cool. There's a couple exceptions. These top pink percussion fills, these will play, they're basically drum fills. So they'll play through once and then they'll pick another percussion loop and then just stay looping. Same for the effects. The effects will play through once, and so they're just kind of like one-shot samples. So let's fire this thing up and hear what it sounds like. Okay, I'm going to trigger a little drum fill here. Okay, pick a random clip. Now let's fire off one of these effects. Pretty cool. Alright, so that's just a little demonstration. So these clips will always change, always keeping things interesting. Now let's get to the fun part, the video and the effects. So over on the master channel here, I have 8 different effects, and these 8 different effects, as you can see, are a rabbit hole of other audio effect racks. They're all MIDI mapped to these 8 macros. For the video, we're going to be using Rockvid, and I have a series of videos loaded up in Rockvid, and the Rockvid has these 9 faders here, but I think I only have I have 7 faders mapped and 1 glow button mapped, so that's 8 effects total, and all these effects are tied to the 8 audio effects. So when you move the macro knobs up and down, you will also be moving the video effects as well. So you can see high pass filter is moving the Stark effect. Now, these macro knobs, so this audio effects rack here is going to be tied into the Leap Motion controller. So when the kids wave their hands, they'll essentially move these macro pots up and down. So I think the low pass filter is your left hand going up. The high pass filter is your right hand going up. Beat repeat is your left hand rolling to the left. chorus is your right hand going side to side. Gate is your right palm rotating. RTD2 laugh is your left hand going back and forth. Actually, I think the filter sweep is your left hand going back and forth. Well, you get the idea. There's a number of gestures that will affect all these effects. So really, kids can just come up, start waving their hands, have a good time, affect the video as well as the audio. So let's quit talking and see this thing in action. Alright, so that's our 8 effects tied into our video, and so essentially this video will be projected up on a projector screen within the booth. So the final and third part of this template is, let's bring this video down here just a little bit. Oh, I forgot, we have actually a series of dummy clips that will trigger off effects as well. So you know what, let's just play this and then we'll get to the third keyboard section. We have a reverse, and these can be triggered on the APC-40. So that was a vinyl stop effect to the dub delay. One bar loop, little crazy cut action, randomized beat repeats, 2 beat repeats running in parallel to each other, stereo effect, the old fun fade to gray, and this one will automatically come back in, and just a regular delay. Okay. So for anybody that is unfamiliar with how dummy clips work, they're an audio clip with no sound at all. So if I go to our dub delay here, you can see that there is no sound recorded in this audio clip. And then I use envelopes here to control a parameter on the effect rack. So let's just open this effect up. So we are using the dub delay here, and the dub delay to turn this effect on would be this macro knob right here. Well, I can automate that with this audio clip by hitting the play button, which will, using these envelopes, will tell the dub delay button here. See, that's mapped because this orange or this pink square is here. Essentially telling the button to turn on and then gradually turn off and then back to completely off. So each of these dummy clips all have a series of different automation to tell the effects what to do. Uh-oh, not good. Warning. All right. Looks like it'll survive. Okay, so moving on to the third part of this template is our keyboard section, and this is where kids come up and start jamming on different keys on the keyboard, and each key will have a separate vocal sample or synth stab. So let's try to make some room here. So you can see how that we have the keyboard occupying C1 to B1 here for our vocal samples, and then our stab samples is C2 to B2. Okay, so we have 2 octaves of sounds that are going to occupy the keyboard. So let's hear this in action. There we go. I'm using my computer keyboard, so it's tricky to find those keys for a second. Alright, pretty sweet. Let's go down an octave by hitting Z on my keyboard.
Ableton user group. Detroit.
Alright, pretty fun stuff. So to do that, I just have 2 samplers loaded up in parallel, and then I open up the zones tab here, and this is where I loaded up the samples, and then I clicked on the key trigger here, and here I can tell which key I would like these samples to fall on. So if I wanted this first sample to fall on C1, I could just take this and bring this to C1. So now this sample would only trigger on C1 on your keyboard, but we want it up here, C2. And then there's just like a series of effects, just kind of make things a little more interesting. Got some delay on there, some saturator, kind of thicken things up. Frequency shifter is adding a bit of width to it. And then just a compressor and some EQ to kind of control the sounds and catch any wild peaks, because each of these samples aren't necessarily at the same level, so some are louder than others. So it's just a way to kind of control things here. Let's see what else we got going on. Yeah, that's basically it. So just kind of a recap, we have Station 1, APC40, for triggering off multiple audio and controlling our push button dummy effects. Station 2 is our leap motion controller, hand gesture, and this is going to control our audio and visual effects. And then our third station is our keyboard, and our keyboard will be used to trigger off multiple vocal samples and synth stabs. One more thing to show is that on the APC40, there's a number of buttons and faders and knobs, and when the kids come up and want to play on the APC40, I'm sure they're going to be tempted to want to twist all the knobs, hit all the buttons. I certainly would. And so what I did was I went and dummy mapped all the knobs and all the buttons that will not be used in this template. For instance, the track on and off, for instance, like right here, the track on and off, solo, record, the transport controllers, the 8 knobs, and a few other buttons. I mapped them all to dummy audio effect racks here. So now kids come up and they can hit whatever buttons they want, and it won't stop the music, it won't mess anything up, it won't start recording anything. It'll just kind of keep everything in line. So really the only buttons that the kids can press that will do anything is the launch pads on APC40, and as a failsafe, if the leap motion controller doesn't work, we have the 8 faders on the APC40 controlling our audio and visual effects here. So that's just, if the leap motion doesn't work, we still have a backup for the faders to control the effects as well. And the track selection buttons are mapped to our button FX here, so they can trigger off these effects with the button FX. So yeah, that's our interactive Ableton set, our audio-visual set for kids come up and jam and have some fun without having any Ableton experience or music experience. They can just wail away and have a good time. I hope you find this interesting, and I may put this up on download on our website, but without the clips, of course, because of copyright issues. Share it to the world so you guys can have fun with it too. All right, thanks for watching. Bye.